of the things we talked about in the beginning was to study the house and try to conceal what the house needed, what the house wanted, because the house is somewhere.
Can't you see something there on the end? Doesn't it look like human created at the end, at the tip? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Oh, I bet people made this back. Whoa, it's actually bigger than I thought.
Where's the rest of the building, though? Or was it a wall?
Oh, it could have been a wall of a castle. No, maybe the wall was there, and they had like a castle there, but then like the dirt came off.
Do you see the house?
Yeah, I saw it.
What you see now is a natural park, so it's a decision of preservation of some land surrounding a dam, just to create a natural park. That's a decision.
We just ran from our house to the sea.
So there's the sea. This is Barcelona province. This is Penedès region.
Oh, look, rabbit.
This is a wine region since Roman times.
It's so nice around here. Come on.
There's the other reality of the area. Mountain bikes. Hola. Actually, this region was very good for limestone. As you can see, the pattern is very wide. The composition of all these mountains is, these are crumbling mountains, like limestone mountains. What they would do here, they would just bring all these rocks, set fire to them. I mean, this was covered, so it was like an oven. They would set fire to them, so they would just heat all the way until they became really white, and then you can smash them and create this powder that is actually lime for houses. So this is the traditional way to do it. You are within a small village. It's a Mediterranean surrounding with a consistency of materials. You have brick and mortar, you have clay tiles, you have decorative plants that are survive with almost no water, like cypresses. So the house, we thought, well, we need to take some of the last layers of renovation, and once we get somewhere that is more connected to the surroundings, we start from there.
So we took all the stucco off and we added a layer of lime. It's actually a natural lime, and it's just like what's out in the hills.
So the work in the house, a big part of the house was already restored. And we knew that we wanted to use the house for the spring. We wanted to make sure we had enough basic essential furniture, which means basically beds, chairs, and tables. So our idea was to came with the minimum expression of furniture to do the things you do essentially in a house. You sleep, and then you eat and study and do things while you are sitting. So we came with this modular idea of creating a minimum expression of furniture, something that was a surface with two types of legs, and that expression could become either table or bed.
It's fun, I guess.
That's a big bed for a little girl.
So here you have an example of the furniture that we have built for this house. The idea was this system that it's 1 by 1 meter can be both used as a table or as a bed. So the legs can be changed, so we can have a table of 80 centimeters or a mini table of 40 centimeters, or if you join 2 tables, so you can make a bed. Or if you join 4 tables, you can make a big size bed. The whole material that mainly we have used in this house is the pine on this as natural boards, or we can find it on the windows as well, or doors. It's a strong material. The key is this joint that we have used these 2 dowels. The system is very simple. You just can take these 2 pieces off and you just can change this leg and convert this table to a bed in 5 minutes.
So this one we're turning into a short table / bed.
Yes.
Exchange the legs of the table into shorter legs, so then you have a smaller table thingy.
Got it.
So we have
The F's?
4F, 3F, 1F, and 2F. This is our transformable furniture system. With this, we can build either a table with long legs, or a low table, or a bed. 2 of those. We need a double bed. How about 4? We are having somebody over. We add 2 long legs table. We have a system to attach and detach the legs. It's a system that resembles some very basic Japanese joinery. What you are doing is you have 3 intermingling pieces, and that's going to hold each leg together very tight. And now we have to find the F's, 4F, 3F.
Building this furniture can feel almost like playing Tetris or just using these building blocks.
It's 1F and 1F. Can you look at for 3F in one of the legs and connect the arrow?
Find the 3F arrow to arrow.
It's rewarding and it doesn't give you the feeling you are going to do a poor job, like when you just screw an IKEA furniture and it almost material breaks apart with the metal and everything.
2F.
Well, there.
Okay.
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 This one is more a wood experience. It feels nicer.
Good, good.
It's not a matter of achieving, but a matter of just adapting things that are very dumb, like information, which are furniture, to your needs.
No, it's normal. Yeah. So this is our bed.
You like it? Comfy?
Mattress and everything.
So Shimano needs a desk in the other room, so this doesn't work.
We have 21 individual tables. So we can use tall legs to make desks or dining tables.
This one flips just this way.
Or we can use shorter legs to make beds.
Here, okay?
And then we have 6 trunks that we can use as headboards, or we can use as benches, or we can use as coffee tables. So now we just have to start to play. I love this room now. Don't you think it changed it so much? Before it was just bed, bed, bed.
Oh my god.
And now we were thinking, because we just came to use the house and we ended up sort of improvising our bed here, but tomorrow my parents are coming over, so we'll move 2 elements. But first let's move the trunk. We could there. We designed the low version of each one of the elements so it can be used as a bench for a table. Let's say we have guests. So one of the options we have, say we are missing some chairs. So now could be a table. You could also take this part, bring the trunk, and this can be a bench. So we have 2 chairs, 8 people with no extra furniture.
Tú te vienes invitada y comida.
The idea of this house was we have just used pine. Yeah, this is the I think that the best part of the wood. that is not something that is fixed in a place, so you can recycle it or give it another use. You have modular elements put in place really quickly. Let's say that you want to move to another place, so you can unassembly almost everything. Even the windows, and you could take it to another place. This is one of the part that I like most in the house. This is built as a furniture, so we produce this in our workshop, and we just put it here, and maybe in 15 minutes we have all the stairs.
So the furniture continues all the way up then?
Yeah. I like this idea that the stairs converts to some kind of place to keep the books or the stair. So here is also the floor. Then you have the windows, the views. I think this is a really good place. So you have modular elements. So everything is prepared to take or put in place really quickly.
So you could rearrange the structure, the layout, yeah.
Yeah.
Fíjate que este pared no aguantará mucho más, ¿no? Como se deshace fácilmente.
Se deshace, sí, sí.
Pero aguanta.
Pues claro, esto es una piedra 100%, ¿no? Y esto, claro, son como trozos, ¿no? ¿No? Bueno, aquí tenéis el escritorio.
So there is a secret in here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, so here it's like under the stairs, but then I just realized that it's a place to work in, and what was think as a shelf, so now is a table, so you can move it there a little bit.
Space.
Normally the space under stairs it's just used for keeping something that you don't use often, but now that you have this furniture here and you have light through these holes, I think that it's a nice place to work.
It becomes another room.
Yeah. Como algo más íntimo, ¿no? No sé. Yeah, so this really was think as a furniture. So the idea was to create an element that has incorporated many options. So here you can put some stuff. So this is the handle of the door. And here you have these towels, the same use as in the tables or in the beds. And you can put the towels. So here there's also a dowel that you can unlock and open the door. Yeah. So you can open it.
And this would be for more space to open the room up.
Yeah, or maybe just to take a shower looking at the mountains, I don't know. I'm an architect as well as I'm a carpenter, but I studied carpentry after my studies of architecture because I was fascinated for the wood, and so now my life is the wood. Yeah, so this was designed for us, this handle, and also this system to close the door. The idea was, okay, so work with the same material.
So to even make the handle from the same material.
Yeah.
Right? Latch as well, right?
Yes.
It's so simple. But it works so well. Like, you don't need more than that.
Yeah, so it's always working with the same idea. Yeah.
So we finally got chairs. It's still green. It was recently locally produced. The smell.
Yeah.
I just got it and cut it to make the chairs.
So they just made them for us, basically.
Model is called Cadaqués, like the town. As you can see, then it's cut.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, wow. So what's the
same
binding? There's no staple.
The binding it's the plant itself. So you can see here the difference how they age. When they age, they lose their water and also change their color. The weaving, it's not narrower. What happens here is that this water is going to evaporate eventually, and this will become more yellowish. They age well.
Funny, it loses some of its water and it becomes thinner and tighter and less green. That's crazy.
I do like the smell instead of just having this furniture has this chemical smell, very strong. And this one has the scent of a recently capped field. Another thing I like is that there's not a single one that is identical to another. This is not a digital appliance. You want each one of them to have their own character because there was a weaving process, and plants are not identical. Each plant is different and each piece of wood is different, so each one will resemble a chair, the ideal chair.
So these are the chairs. It's a Kadakis chair. It's a traditional chair from, I guess, the Mediterranean. I mean, I've seen them forever. I just remember my great-grandmother, the only image I have of her. This is Latin America because this is 100 years of solitude, but those chairs are very, very common.
Nicely woven Kadakis chair.
Do you like this room?
Pretty.
Pretty cool or really cool?
Pretty.
In the summer, it's cool. And it's private, especially in the trunk.
But when it's closed, it's so private.
It's so private.
So here we have another type of furniture. It's also pine, but in this case we are talking about OSB boards. So the idea of this furniture was to have place to keep some clothes or something. And also, if we add these dowels are the same as we have used in the tables. So in 1 minute we can have something similar to a sofa. So the idea is this. So you can stay here and so here we have two options. So first one is to have it in this position that is around 45 degrees. And second option was to change it in this position. So now maybe it's something similar to a sofa, maybe.
So here we have the biggest exposure in the house is this room. So we knew in summertime we'd have direct sunlight coming in. We were thinking about different concepts, but then we got some help from the architects to come up with a solution that could be related to the ethos of the house. And also local, possibly natural material, breathable, healthy, durable, something that ages well. So it wasn't that easy until they came with this idea. Why don't we use what actually on the southern Mediterranean we've used for centuries, if not millennia, which is basically a grass garment, the one used for the oldest shoes. Basically, you just let some plants from the grasses families that are grown all over the Mediterranean Spanish shore. You create a very durable but also very appealing because it has a rustic taste. What we've created also with the shades is a double mechanism. When we need some sunblock, the shades can be on this side. When you don't have any sun radiation, you simply unhook the shade and you basically come the other side with it. We also have some hooks on this side to actually install the shade on this side. Another nice touch of these shades, it's as simple as just letting the rope go down. It's a pulley that goes all the way down. So all you need to do is to push a little bit and then the shade will come up. It's simple. It's at the same time it's elegant. So now you have a door here. So now we are just going to unhook this one. Just go to the other side. So with this simple move, what we created is privacy to this room. Right now, this room is set up as a bedroom, but in fact, all the furniture is set for the room to be transformed into what we think we are needing in that moment. What we created is the feeling on the other side that you actually have some space for the users of the other rooms to go through. Imagine that I'm coming from downstairs. I still don't need, as long as it's daytime, I don't need actually to turn on this light. I do like the fact that you create some textures within light inside of the house. Houses, when they have shades inside, there is a sense of depth, there is a sense of beauty in the way light goes against things. There are whole aesthetic treatises on that, especially on Eastern culture, like embrace of shadows. I do feel very fond of this tradition of working with light inside of the houses. Here, you feel inspired by a sort of light that is stronger, of course. And here light has a whole different texture and meaning. This permeability of the natural garment of the shades and the shade that reminds us of a timelessness, because it can be very ancient, but these shades also, for some reason, they also look very timeless. It could be almost like from a future where people are actually more conscious about what they use. We also, following the same technique, what we did was to be in boulder down below, underneath the house. So this is down below. I'm using this part of it as this side as a working area, and here we have a door with access through the street. One of the three openings to the street on the bottom floor. We have another shade. Right now I have it on the mode daytime when it's not super sunny. It never gets here. The sun never gets inside really strongly. We designed these doors so they were installed a little bit inside the walls, so there is some space between the protection of the facade and where the door is, so the light won't go all the way through. So now you have two pulleys. All you have to do is you just let them go. Right now I have the feeling this is almost like something you would put on, like a pullover or something, like a piece of cloth, and light comes in. It's almost like the allegory of the cavern or plateau or something, because actually when people go through, you actually see the shade in the light. All right, this is the bedroom. Living in like that because it's daytime. There is also a reason why there is this hole here and the door is here instead of being here. It's because winter light, as the sun is lower, is going to get in the room, but summer sun, it's going to hit these walls but never get as much inside, just because the door is receded. And also we have two hooks installed here, so the same shade, we install it here, we can leave the door open. So for example, during the night the house is open, but at the same time you have a shade. That's the way things used to be. I'll leave it like this. It actually stays on the side, so it won't move. You also can roll it up a little bit so you can go through. As you can see, I'm just behind the shade. There's a lot of privacy, and you have some light go through, so the space inside won't be super dark, and at the same time privacy just is not compromised by any means. And then you block radiation, so you have climate control too, allowing the breeze to get in. So I think it's a quite nice system. The garage, the shades, again, it feels private. It doesn't feel super dark. It's not a sunny day. There is no artificial light here. You don't need it. I'd argue that when it's not overcast illuminated, when it's subtle, when it's subtly illuminated, it almost feels more soothing, calmer. I think we used to understand better shades in other times. Now it's getting more and more difficult. It's very ancient, yet for some reason we forgot to use these things. It needs some sort of daily discipline, I guess, and maybe we are not willing to do so. And at the same time, I understand that these systems are going to work better when climate conditions are not extreme, because we are talking about creating conditions where you can just lower the interior climate for some degrees, but not by orders of a bigger magnitude or something. So the way the renovation was done was we centered all the services through the same two areas that go from the bottom all the way to the top. And we thought we needed some extra lighting also on the extremes of the house. So we, with the help of the architect, we ended up installing this plant-like lamp. It has two ends with several bulbs. One of the ends, you just plug it here. And we installed strategically in each one of the rooms 5 hooks. So in this case, we are going to try with this design, which we are going to do a square, and then we'll bring the final part of it, which is a hook, to the very center. It can be like this. Make sure they are tight, because it's not the same to go to the store and buy a lamp and then going home and just lighting that lamp, than actually install something that has to be creative, because you can shape it the way you want. So imagine you create an infinity symbol. Infinity symbol could be inspiring, maybe. Right. Soft and warm. I feel like one of these small town parties by the river. There we go. There was one.
Like a Christmas tree chain.
It's plant-like. Mm-hmm. It hangs like plant. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it doesn't get in the way. Not a coincidence that the archetype of modern architect with Frank Lloyd Wright, his furniture, and especially his architecture in general, it looks very timeless, because everything looks very like either from another planet or civilization, or from another time, or from no time, because it's not built upon tradition, but upon functional ideas and aesthetics that come from. So to me, our place, more than lo-tek or old style, is more convenient for what it does in this place.
Then the things added are basically very basic and Spartan, but not necessarily antique or ancient. It's just stuff that makes sense because it's sustainable, affordable, suits a house.
The more I am here, the more I think what we're doing here is redefinition of what was already here. Some attributes that had been covered, so we've done some scraping, we've done some improving, we've done some tweaking. but the basics, the essential were already here.